You haven't surfed in a couple days.
No, I injured my hand.
Oh man. So when was the last time that you surfed?
Well, the last day I surfed was Sunday. The last part of that swell on Sunday I surfed. It's been over a week probably due to my
Uh-huh.
injury, and then I had to get back to work, so I kind of been off not surfing right now.
Just milk and cookies or what?
I've been getting fatter, dude. I can tell you, I feel it. I've been just kicking back because I got hurt and I've been eating. I just, I've been kind of laying around low lately.
Right on, right on.
Yeah,
Hey, we're live here, Mitch. Everybody at home and at work. Hopefully, you're at work, taking a break. Uh, Thank you for joining Pro Surf Blog today for some epic surf news. And today I'm here with one of my favorite local people, Mitch Farner, and we're going to do a little board meeting type board meeting. Talk about surfing. A couple big things recently. What I want to start off with is an experience I shared with Mitch at a podcast of Chalky Late Night with Chalky, who did a podcast. But before, let's give Mitch a chance to say hi, man. How you doing, Mitch?
yeah. Hey, how you doing, Phil? Thanks for having me on here today and hanging out
Yeah.
with you, doing a little surf talk with you.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
awesome. If you don't know everybody, Mitch has been on a handful of times before. So if you want to see old conversations from the past where we were talking about surf and some of the related stuff today, you can see some really good conversations there. So I went to a live podcast, Late Night with Chalky, Linden and Jay, Huntington Beach, Orange County guys. You guys probably know who they are out there. They put on a cool podcast talking to different surfers from all around the world, basically. This particular night, they decided to do it live, like in front of an audience live. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool. I wanted to see what that was about. They did it over at SurfRide, which is one of the coolest surf shops we have in Oceanside.
yes,
And they had Gary Linden on. So Gary Linden's a local legend from Oceanside, and he is still shaping boards and in
yeah,
the mix.
yes,
Um, that was in December. That was before Christmas, right?
yeah,
Um,
yes,
so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share a couple things here. Um, all right, everybody. So yeah, this is the late night with Chalky. You can see there that if you want to find them on Instagram, you can find them there. And they interviewed Gary Linden. That's the profile information you see below there. So I encourage you to give Gary Linden a follow as well.
yeah,
And you can
yeah,
see Linden Surfboards is another. He's got two accounts there, so you can find him in a couple different ways there.
yeah,
Um, so Mitch, I'm going to share a few more pictures, but while I'm doing that, maybe you can tell me a little bit about um,
yeah.
uh, your personal experience with Linden and his boards, and then I'm going to share some pictures here, and then we'll kind of come back to talking about the podcast. But
Okay, all right.
yeah, I'm definitely interested in finding out, yeah, what
Yeah,
you know what you're
yeah.
doing.
That's really So yeah, Linden surfboards have been around a long time, and my first experience was my 18th birthday. I got to go to the North Shore for a month, and I got to pick out a surfboard, and the surfboard I picked was at Hobie Cap. It wasn't
Okay.
SurfRide yet, so I
Okay.
picked out a Linden board. It was a 7.2, and I took it brand new to the North Shore, and it was an amazing board for way back then. I just once I saw it at the shop, I just figured that would work in Hawaii, and it was a good choice. And it's really cool because he is a pioneer. I mean, he was there like when surfboards were started being shaped, and now he's surfing giant waves at 74. So his story is such a long range. of surfing history. It's truly amazing, and you're not gonna meet many people like Gary Linden.
And
Especially,
he's still charging big waves or what?
yeah, his 74th birthday, I believe, was right before the SurfRide story on Gary Linden, and
Okay.
I think one of his it was his birthday. I think the waves were pretty big, and he actually was catching some big surf that day. And I mean, if that doesn't inspire anybody, that's just super, super badass, straight up, So yeah,
Yeah.
his whole story of mowing lawns from 10 years old, getting surfboards the way he did, and became who he is you don't see that, and it's
So
really cool. It's really cool.
So it was some of that story stuff you picked up at the podcast, what he was doing as a kid, or is this something that he's shared with you in the past?
Oh no, I picked up on several things at that broadcast
Cool.
that he was more open to. He shared some things with me before, but nothing like that night. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool vibe. I'm going to share three clips, short clips.
Yeah.
And they're really just the intro stuff, because I don't want to go into all the content. I'll let anybody who wants to listen to this, I encourage it. Go directly to Late Night with Chalky, check out their podcast, so you can get all the good stuff. But I got a couple clips just from the beginning, and they were introducing Gary. And let's see if you can hear the audio on this here.
All right.
No audio.
Mm-mm.
Maybe I'm not getting audio there. Hold on one sec. Hold on there. We'll try that one more time. Go that way. Try this a little differently. Well, of course, I am having audio sharing issues. Let's see.
Did you say you were rusty? I heard you say you were rusty. It's been a while. So
definitely rusty at this. Yeah, I was trying to share this, but yeah, I'm having a little bit of audio not coming through. So I might have to skip some of those intros, but basically, Gary was with the ASP, right? I mean, I think that's a big
yes,
part of his history. And then also, which I think is really awesome, is that Gary also championed the Big Wave World Tour.
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes,
that is huge, right? I mean, so
yeah.
you haven't been charging competitive big wave surfing, but definitely Gary's background with that has probably been inspiring for you as a free surfer.
For sure, he's at a higher level and experienced, and that's what makes someone like me really inspired, because I look up to him and what he's able to accomplish. That just shows how much love for surfing is. When you're that age, there's a reason why surfing is such a powerful thing to us surfers. And if we just don't want to stop, it's so cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
he's a great example of where it can take you and what's capable. He's doing that, and that's what I like. The contests and all that stuff is really, really cool to me too. But to see what he's able to do in the water is more impressive to me as what he's done for surfing as well. So yeah, he's super cool, man. Gary is super cool. He lives here in Oceanside, and we get to say hi to him, and he's super cool dude.
Yeah, and he's been doing this since before there was a lot of safety gear as well. So I mean, he's probably seen the progression of big wave surfing quite a bit. Because I mean, I know sometimes you're using a vest out there.
Yeah.
Like a Toto Santos or something like that, right?
Yeah, I definitely would want one on.
Yeah.
There. For me. Yeah.
Yeah. So just historically though, it kind of impresses me, the guys who are doing this just, Libre just free like a regular day. I mean, that's amazing stuff. So
Yeah. Very sure.
yeah, so I'm going to you got the screen there again, Mitch? You can see my
Yeah,
shirt there?
I
Okay,
could see
cool.
pictures up of SurfRide.
Yeah, you're gonna help me knock the webs off. Can you see this picture there I blew up?
I'll have to put my glasses on. I got them.
Or no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm not sharing that screen, huh? Let me let me try it a different way.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry. I've been super rusty.
No worries, Phil.
Let's see here. So I'm gonna try to share this a little differently. I'm gonna go on this one. How about that?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. We're getting in there. I think earlier I might have shared some pictures that were too small too.
Nice.
I don't know if you saw, well, I'm gonna go back earlier. Did you see that one earlier, Mitch? I don't have my producer over here helping me out with my technical.
First time I've seen it right now. It's really
Oh,
nice.
okay. So earlier I was talking about, sorry about that, everybody. I was talking about checking out Late Night with Chalky's Instagram account. There it is on the screen. You can see that, Mitch, right?
Yeah.
Gary
Right on.
Linden right below it. You can see his Instagram as well. So go follow them directly. Find that podcast directly with the boys there. I was digging into their profile, which Gary was in the middle there. And then, well, you were talking about some of Gary's stuff. In fact, you were talking about Hobie Cat or SurfRide Hobie. There's a little information there as well. So you can check out the accounts you see there on the screen, and you can check out the hashtags and find that content and find more about Gary outside of what we're doing here today. And this was the video. I'm going to skip past that since we had trouble. So I'm going to kind of move forward here. This was at SurfRide. So we're in the surf shop, but they've got a cozy little couch there. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Linden, well, there's two Lindens in this story, I guess, right? There's Linden, the host, and then Gary Linden, the shaper and legend, big wave surfer.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of a little couch setup. And then everybody's kind of in the staircase where I'm shooting the picture from. And then over to the side, you can see a couple of heads poking out by the Christmas tree. So yeah, we were kind of trying to give them a little space there, and they were setting up, and you can see Gary there. Gary seems like he's 7 foot tall or 8 foot tall, but he's a compact dude, but he's charging hard.
Yes.
That is so cool. And there's the other Linden, and they were putting theirs Jay, and they were kind of setting all that up in front of everybody. And there's a little crack of a smile right there. And then I pulled back to give you guys kind of a little bit of a view there. And so we've got, just a lot of local surfers that came out that evening. They had some pokey and beers for people and drinks, and that was kind of nice to get rolling into the podcast. And then of course I had to shoot one of me and get a photo bomb by with you and your wife in the background.
Okay, Phil.
I
nice.
have
yeah.
Oh wait, are you?
I'm always seeing one picture, the same one,
Oh yeah, my producer's telling me that right now. Oh man, so I went through all of that with one picture. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry everybody.
But you explained it good.
Yeah. Okay, so
there you go.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to share videos and pictures. Nothing's working for me right today, Mitch.
All right.
Let me see if I can shoot back through this.
Yeah, that was everybody was having a good time listening to him, and yeah, that was a good turnout. It was fun. It was fun. I'm glad I went and listened to him. That was cool.
Yeah, well, there's one of the pics. I had to at least pull up the one with the big smile there.
Look at that guy. All right. Good times.
Yeah. So I'm going to, with everybody on here, I'm going to test one more time. I'm going to flip pictures. Did the picture change, or if we start?
There you go. There you go.
The picture changed?
You're warming up. Now you're warming up now, buddy.
What the heck? I'm warming up.
Yeah, you're doing all right now.
How about that one? I switch again on you?
Yeah, you're doing good, Phil. Oh yeah.
That's the photo bomb one I was talking about with you brought your better half with you out that night.
Oh yeah, pretty rough, but made it.
that's that's amazing. She's supporting you every day with surfing, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, she kicks my ass mostly about
it,
it all. It's
okay,
hard.
and then this is another guy there. I don't know if this picture came through for you. This
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
that's a Quivercast. So if you guys are out there listening to podcasts, that's another podcast guy. He was in the audience, just there to soak up the vibes and network. And so yeah, Quivercast is another one. How about that legend in the background? Stephen Back. Did that picture pop up or what?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Steven.
Yeah, so Steven showed up with the band, Suede Denim Secret Police, local rabble rousing punk cover band.
They are so good. Anybody who wants to have a good time, go see these guys. They shred. Love
They
their. Oh, they're amazing.
they know how to have a good time, and I've seen them
They're so good.
while they're performing. They'll incorporate some really bad fan in the audience to sing off key. They'll share the mic, and typically a lot of those people will try to ruin the song by singing real terrible. And those guys, it doesn't even phase them. They just keep rocking out. They just keep going.
So good. Yeah.
So you can check before I go to that one. You can check. Oh shoot, that's another one there.
Hey.
Stephen Back, Mark O'Toole. So if you go look in the library on Epic Surf News, the channel you're watching now, you can actually see these guys surfing in a couple clips. You'll have to search around for them, but
Cool.
yeah, they're Oceanside surfers. So yeah, I got to give them a little shout out in the mix of all this stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to those guys.
I'm gonna flip back a few pictures and let's see. Yeah, I think I got through all those. So yeah, I'm gonna stop that share a little bit. All right, thanks for giving me some technical support there while we're live there, Mitch.
Yeah.
So like I said, people can go find a lot about Gary on that. I heard some really cool stuff too. But yeah, you've outside of that board that you found that you took to Hawaii on your first trip, fast forward to more recent times. Do you have experiences with Gary Linden?
Sure. He's been there when I needed a board, or obviously when I had to order one. And so I've ridden a couple of his guns.
Okay.
And I fell in love with them. They're just amazing boards. And I had a really good experience at Black's a few years ago on a really good day. And it was a really good day. I was able to get into Longboard Magazine on his board. It might have been the first time I rode it.
Okay.
So it really worked good for me that day. It was a pretty solid day. And
that was his board. I remember when you got that was a number of years ago. So that's pretty cool, man. So he was probably pretty excited and pumped for you too.
Yeah. I think it really was my first time riding it, and it just had really good down rails, and it was a quad setup. And it was a fast board, and I had just it worked really good out where I surfed it. So
have you been in the lineup with Gary?
Yes, I have. A few times.
Okay.
Yeah. It's unreal. It's unreal.
Where did you guys surf at?
I've surfed them at Swami's quite a few times. Okay. And I've surfed with them at Toto's.
Oh wow.
A couple times.
Nice.
More or less. And I've seen him at Oceanside every now and then. So yeah, Gary is nice. I've seen Gary. He's out there surfing. You'll find him surfing.
That's really awesome. So at the podcast, what I dipped out a little bit early, so I didn't get the full experience. I just came for the pokey and the free beer.
Yeah, me too. It's good too.
But no, really. So I mean, how was the experience? I mean, like you come in, everybody was chatting, then it got kind of quiet on the set so they could do their podcast, and then you're sitting in the background there. And so how was that?
I think it's really cool. I love listening to the older generations. I just think everybody needs to hear it. And that's what it is for me, is those old stories when he was a kid. And, you know, his parents, he spoke a lot about his parents, how they supported him, and his dad was a Marine, and how he was a surfer, and how those combinations back there didn't usually fly. Most of surfers were punks, right? And in those years, they weren't looked at like we are now, you know. But yeah, he had parents that supported him, and that's a big deal. And that's a big deal, because I know my dad's dad wasn't like that. My dad's dad was definitely not like that. And so that's cool to have parents that are going to support your dreams, or, you know, guide you. You know, that's the parent that I want to be to my kids. So that's cool. So when any chance you're outside of surfing, to hear the, like, hanging on the beach when he's 5 years old, and this thing over here, and how he paddled out on it, or how he made it shaped to do this. And he really did. He was very he had an interest in just not surfing, but how to surf a surfboard and what it would do. And there's many things about Gary. It's really cool. Really cool. Yeah.
That's cool. The clips I tried to share earlier, what I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm actually going to, I mean, they're short clips, but I'll end up posting those.
Yeah.
So you guys can check those out. They're just, like I said, some of the beginning of the podcast. And, but one of the pieces talked about that. They were talking about being 7 years old, and the difference back then versus now. And, you know, there was a bit more freedom as well to do things.
It was more freedom. And then on the other hand, you had to be more dedicated, because the equipment was worse. So you had to really dedicate yourself back then. And today it's everything's just easier, right? So that's what makes his story good.
Yeah, well, I mean, Surfline, I guess, probably one of the major advancements, right, since then to now. And what I want to do here, Mitch, is I'm going to pivot and maybe start with that Surfline context. So swells, big waves, at least in terms of Southern California, we just had a run of those, right? The end of the year, pretty much the end of the year in 2023. And you were out there charging. So Surfline, I mean, how did you decide where to go? Is it like, hey, I go to these spots, I know the rough, you know, swell directions, or did you use Surfline? I mean, how did you decide where you were going to go?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm kind of stubborn. I only have a couple places in the wintertime that I like to go, just convenience. I kind of know it. And so I know Northwest Swell. I go surf a couple of those places a lot. And I mean, I know that's where I want to be. That's just me. I love where I can go, and that's where I go.
I mean, you went to Blacks.
I did.
I was just going to call it out. Geotag it. Everybody go surf Blacks next time.
I did. Okay.
Okay.
We did it up there. Okay. Yeah.
And what? So you just knew, you were like, I'm going to Blacks.
I think Thursday, when it was just starting to come through on Thursday, I was there Thursday, and it was definitely really good and good size. And the surf report obviously said bigger Friday.
Okay. Right.
So just was easy decision right there, you know, just keep it kind of going, keep it going right there for me.
So you pulled up Friday. Friday was the bigger day, right?
Yeah.
And so you did the normal main route path down to the beach that day?
Yes, I did, with Liam. Me and Liam, usually when it gets a little overhead, me and him usually team up, or we're surf bros, and we go surf together. So me and Liam did our routine thing that we like to do there, and head down the cliff.
Yeah. And you can, everybody, you can learn. Yeah, you can learn more about Liam too. He's been on the show a few times in the past. So if you search for Liam on the channel, you'll get a chance to meet him and learn more about him. Cool. So you guys are charging. So you at the top of the hill, or as you start to weave down, you can start to get a sense of what's happening. like size wise.
Sure. Yeah, on big days you can hear the surf. It's cool because you can't see it. So sometimes you get a little woo, the more noise you hear, you're getting excited.
And maybe about halfway down there, it starts to open up a little bit. There's a one curve you can kind of start to get ideas, or
oh sure, yeah, that's where your first if you go down there long enough, you'll see you'll see the swells right there. It's not really the heart of the wave, but it'll give you an indicator of if it's going to be a little on the small side or pumping,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so you get down there. I was looking at footage and pictures from that day that you were there, and it looked like a lot of like the water was all the way up. Right. So that I don't know if that was a combination of the tide and the size of the swell, but I mean the water, my last time I was there was a little bit of beach down there.
You're right. There was a combination of both. Okay. Just getting it on.
So pretty much when you come to the bottom of that ramp, I mean, there wasn't much beach then.
No, you were in the water. So if you took off on a wave and got caught inside, you couldn't even walk down the beach. You were in the, knee deep, working your way back south, to paddle back out. If you got really in a bad situation there, you would have to do that route, and you would have to go so far south, and then you would have to go out and handle that, and then paddle all the way back north to the point. So it's a journey.
Right.
It's a journey. It's a full journey when it was like that. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think the other thing that stuck out to me is that all the footage I saw seemed like it was at the top of the bluff, and the time I was down there was definitely a handful of videographers and photographers who were down on the beach or right in that zone, but it didn't look like there was any room for that on this day.
No, they were just at that platform where they can park. The people that have the key, the people that can drive down, that's where the most of the people were to watch or whatever, shoot, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was probably the biggest crowd, one of them that I've seen down in that morning on Friday. There was a lot of people. It was pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah. And so I think, if you're out there just as a viewer, just like watching big waves or actually following surfing, when you see a lot of the footage, especially from that Friday, I think that was the 30th or something like that. But the wave will look smaller than it really is, because, if they're shooting from up here and the wave's down here, it seems to give a smaller effect. So, the only true way to understand how big it is at Blacks is to get in the inside in the impact zone and then look up. So, did you get pounded at all?
I did. Okay. I did.
Good.
I think a couple guys had it worse than me, but gnarly.
Yeah.
In the impact zone on Friday.
Okay. All right. Well, good, man. I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person who's been pounded there then,
No. There was several broken boards, and it was so lucky. It was I was lucky to get out of that one a couple times. So yeah, it was pretty heavy.
So at the main peak, at that left that you were dropping in on, about how many people were in that crowd?
Very, very few. Not very many. I don't have a number. The waves that come out there when it's not too many people, it's, they know it's coming to you, or it's a cool place. It's a cool place. It's a cool place. I find some, out there a lot. And I've had some really good times out there with no one around as well. So yeah. So when it gets real big like that, I don't know, it just seems a lot easier to get a wave out there.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well, that's good. And even with that said, there were a couple high profile surfers out there on that day.
That's what I was told. Yeah. And I didn't even know. I didn't really know. And ended up really having a great time with a couple really cool dudes after that session. And yeah, it was fun, which was Ben Gravy and Zeke.
Yeah, Ben Gravy and Zeke.
Yeah,
Let me see here. I'm gonna pull
yeah,
that up. I
yeah,
might have
yeah,
foreshadowed that earlier by accident a little bit, but
yeah,
so you can see that there, right there, Mitch. You
yeah.
got the legends right there with you.
Yeah, it was really fun. Man, those guys have a great attitude. That's for sure. Really cool.
Yeah, so Ben
Stuff.
Gravy there on the left, if you're looking at the screen, and then you got Zeke there on the right.
Pretty
Yeah,
fun.
so I think so. If you go, also everybody, I'm sure anybody who's watching this or watches this probably was looking at waves on those days and looking for stuff, and maybe even looking at blacks, or all the surf outlets were actually pushing footage from blacks on that day and that week, in fact. So you see lots of Zeke and Ben Gravy footage and pictures of them charging, most of it there at blacks. So yeah, if you've seen it, that's the same day that we're talking about here right now with Mitch. And then Zeke, he got caught up in a firestorm a couple days later because he posted some video. It's hard to know because he's kind of always messing around, like doing stuff. And Ben Gravy had a similar comedic video, but he was popping off about photographers, videographers blowing up the spot and sharing the clips. And oh man, he started a firestorm on Instagram. People were going back and forth about that. So you were out there with these guys on the same day at most of those clips, right?
Yeah, like I said, I was paddling around surfing out there, and I didn't really notice until I got out of the water, and they were, they came out pretty close to the same timing as me. And then when I came up on the cliff right there, that's where we kind of were talking about our surfboards and the waves, and we just, we were just all up there talking, and it was really fun. We had a good time, man. It was a good time.
It's really hard to notice people when they're behind you on the wave. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So Ben Gravy, was he out there charging? I mean, because that guy surfs, every kind of wave possible, small and big. But I mean, like, he's definitely
absolutely. Those guys were 100%.
And there was another guy who I don't think I know of until this because of all the footage. I think he might have been one of Zeke's friends. His name was Skip. Do you see some guy named Skip out there?
Yeah, there was a couple of those friends for sure in the parking lot. They were having a good time. So not really sure who Skip is.
Okay. Supposedly Skip was killing it. So
Okay.
yeah. So if anybody's looking out there, Skip is the man. I'm going to share a clip of one of your waves. And let me see here. I'm going to have to give credit to, let me see here. Oops. What was that? I got all kinds of action. All right. So we're getting closer, party people. We're going to share this screen here. How's that? We see that video clip on the screen there, Mitch?
I do.
Cool. Perfect. So this is one of the waves that Mitch got. This was shot by Backcountry Baj, or Baj, B-A-J. So you can find the original clip on YouTube if anybody wants to check that out. But we went ahead and gonna take a peek at just this wave anyways. And so let me play this for you here. So that's about like 4 foot, or how big is that wave?
Well, I thought it was the Swami's left.
Yeah.
I'm sure this isn't the Swami's left. I'm not sure.
That would be nice if it was. But
famous left at Swami's, right, yeah. Matt?
Hey, I love the left at Swami's, man.
Yeah, that's right.
But so that wave right there, that thing was huge. I'm gonna bring it back for you. I'm gonna stop it at some point here as you kind of drop in to see. Okay, so right there, there's 1, 2, 3. It starts to kind of curve out here. So, it looks like almost 3 or 4 of you there, like height wise.
I just, yeah, it was a bitchin' wave. It was bitching. It was really bitching. I wish it would have like had a little more on the inside and drove more. But I can't complain. That was just a really fun wave. And I mean, I'm almost on an 11-foot board. So I mean,
Oh, almost an 11. That's a 10, what, 10.6 or something?
it's a 10.7.
Wow.
And so I kind of rated it on like on my board, but how long it is to the face a little bit. And I know that's not perfectly accurate, but
right.
I just know that it was like one of my best lefts I've ever caught in my life. So super fun.
Yeah, I mean, you can see right there, there's not a whole bunch of people down the line either. So
No.
I mean, you got a couple guys there, but
Yeah, that
that's kind of nice because you don't have to weave around a whole lot of people.
yeah. Yeah, my surfboard really worked. I just really impressed with my surfboard. And
so who shaped this surfboard?
Duke Aipa shaped that for me, and
Nice.
I've had really good success on it. Super sick.
Yeah, that is amazing. So yeah, Aipa is just amazing, big wave stuff, man. So 10 is that like a kind of a pointier board? Is that a thruster? Is it a quad? What did you go with?
I have a 5 fin setup, but I guess it would be a traditional gun. I mean, with a lot of custom on it. I know from their design, so I'm really impressed with it, and looking forward to getting another board from them.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So how you talked about I think the rails a little bit. I mean, like like how thick are the rails roughly?
Well, everybody's different, and I'm in the 200-pound range. So Duke kind of knew, helped me through that. And that's what he's an expert at that. And I can toss numbers out, but I let him just take full charge on that board with the shape I am and what I told him I needed. And he nailed it. I mean, perfectly. And super rad board.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell your shaper too much, right? Like,
yeah, it's just like I saw for some of the surfing that how it handles, and it just seems to really surf well. I'm happy with it.
How many, I mean, how many big wave surfboards do you have roughly?
3.
Okay.
I have 3.
All right.
I have 3.
That's pretty cool, man. Because I mean, for me, I mean, I guess more people are probably getting step ups in their quiver, but I'm pretty much riding the same thing I can ride all the time.
I have one for you, Phil. So there you go.
I'm gonna have to borrow your board like on a 2-foot day and see if I can commandeer that thing.
No, we're gonna go to Todos like on a 6 to 8 foot day, me and you, on a warm winter day, and we'll take a bigger board and we'll just go out there and have some fun.
Man, you made those promises last time, dude, and then you took me when it was big, dude. Oh man,
we're gonna go on a small day.
I might stand behind the camera this time.
That'll be fun. Be cool.
So that tide, you said, Mitch, we were talking recently, and you were talking about how, well, because I was asking about the videos and things like that, and I kept noticing people on top. I kept asking about the tide. So all that beach was washed away. The last time I was there was a handful of the local videographers who were kind of down there, maybe a little higher up in the sand, but they were down at the beach level pretty much on a regular big day. Some guys still tried to go down to the beach that was swamped out and do video on that Friday.
They did, and they actually climbed up the cliff a little bit where the top of the cliff will collapse, and you'll see the chunks that come off the cliff. And you don't want to stand there.
No.
And those guys are risking it just for the shots. A couple guys I saw, and actually one guy came back towards the south end, and he was bleeding on his knees a little bit from just a little bit fell, and it got his attention. And so I also saw like a mom and a little baby like hovering right under the worst section, letting her little kid run around. And I had to walk down there and just, tell her, hey, just so you get a lot of different people that don't know, but that's dangerous down there. You
Yeah,
don't want to,
especially because when the water's coming, you got two things. Like you said, you have the rumbling that is probably not helping the soft bluff, but then you have all that moisture, which is like a mist, right? There's like a floating mist on top of the water,
for
and
sure.
that's just softening all that stuff up. And and I think we had some rains before or during that time as well, which definitely don't help. So a couple videographers kind of had some close ones, sounds like.
Yeah, they did. They did. They just but they were charging. They were charging too, though. They probably got some good shots over there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Where they were.
So man, Mitch, that is so cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's really good to see you out there charging, and yeah, to watch the footage is pretty exciting, and just to learn about thing and any other local that you saw out. Man, that
there was yellowish board. I thought he was just catching some really quality waves. Some of the footage that when I came home, I was wanting to see, and I was able to pull up some YouTube stuff. And this guy on this yellow board, he was surfing with me. I just can't picture who he was, but like a yellow orangey board, and he was surfing really good waves out there. I don't know who he was, but I was impressed with his surfing was really good.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see who pops up.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a couple locals. There's some local guys down there that are out when it's really big, and but I guess Zeke and Ben Gravy would be your guys, I guess.
Right.
But everybody else that I kind of know are just out there surfing.
Yeah, people you recognize in the lineup. But it's always kind of cool to see somebody pop up. People come out of the woodwork. I mean, different kinds of people, right? When it gets bigger.
Yeah, it was a fun day. We had
right on, Mitch. Man, I'm so stoked to have time with you and to like kind of just share that Linden podcast late night with Chalky experience. And I actually want to talk to Gary at some point, so we'll have to try to corral him at maybe in the future. And then to hear your stories there and what you were doing.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any other shout outs. I want to obviously Ben Aipa was crushing it for you. I want to give a shout out. I'm gonna let Mitch give a little roll call too, but HoStevie wetsuits, thanks so much for keeping me warm this winter. Everybody, you can find it on my Amazon page or go to HoStevie Direct. If you buy one, put in the comments where you heard about it. It's got great wetsuits, and he's a local San Diego business, and you'd be supporting kind of one of the little guys with that. And Mitch, so what wetsuit were you wearing?
I wear an O'Neill, and I kind of been wearing those. So there you go. I like that, dude. That's cool. So yeah, straight up, I love O'Neill. I've been wearing them my whole life, pretty much since I started surfing. I've always had O'Neills, and I've had some little bit of help from them off and on, and with wetsuits. And
awesome.
Pretty comfortable wetsuit and
dependable.
They're solid, man. They're comfy. I really enjoy them. So big shout out to O'Neill. Thank you for helping me continue to do what I love, surf. And Ben Aipa and Duke Aipa and their whole Aipa family, they're just amazing surf family, top level. And I got to thank them too very much for keeping me stoked. So yeah, totally on those guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Like that.
How about out in the community? How about in the community surfers?
I mean, just guys that I look up to. The guys that I look up to personally, that I think about. where they're going and how I like being a part of that surfing part of it. And yeah, definitely Liam. Dude, that guy is just, he is just unbelievable. Charger, friend, keeps me on my toes, keeps me driving like a young kid. He is everything to me. That kid is just, so yeah, Liam is, just get to know Liam out there. He is somebody that is very special to me. So, but other than that, I just want to tell a couple guys that I really look up to, and I appreciate your time always. And Scott Chandler, Mike Stidham, Joey Baran,
Oh, nice.
Matt Allen, Dave Schaefer, Mike Emerson, Tim Fox,
Nice.
and Joel Tudor are big inspirations to me.
Nice.
I've been able to talk to them all, and they inspire me every.
That's cool. Joey Baran, he was like the Olympic coach way back in the day before I think Olympics got going. You're talking about Joey Baran, in Orange County, or yeah. Yep. And then Tudor was out there scoring waves too. I don't know if he had a leash on still. I mean, is he ever going to wear a leash or what? That guy's
I'll kind of share that. Yeah, Swamis, when it's big and crowded, he will, out of respect, wear a leash.
Wow.
Black days, he chooses the Swami. Dangerous there. Just saying.
Yeah, Swamis is brutal.
It's gnarly, and not taking it away from it, but it can get out of hand there with the crowd. So I think for that reason he would wear one there, because I've seen him. But at Blacks, I have been blown away on the waves that he's caught with no leash and stays out, never loses his board. And he's definitely talented as it gets when it comes to surfing without a leash.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people who've got that down, especially when, as the waves get bigger, right? That gets increasingly hard. So yeah, really cool. Yeah, that was an awesome roll call. And
thanks. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but man, super fun out there.
We'll get him on the next round. We'll get him on the next podcast. So thanks for sharing those names, and thanks for sharing your stories today, Mitch. And I want to let everybody know too, before we wrap up, there are a couple videos I have recently around the same time, not on the same day that Mitch was surfing, but because I was out surfing somewhere else. So, but I do have, I think maybe it was the day before or the day after, you could see Stormwatch. I call it Stormwatch. You check the channel. It's one of the recent videos. It's basically maxed out hunting or Oceanside Harbor. And it's just, it's unruly. It's not really very surfable. I think for grins and giggles, I think I saw a clip before I recorded that morning. Katie Simmers just went out there just to do it, and nobody else was out. And I think I don't know if she got pounded out there or what she did. But yeah, I know Katie Simmers has a video, not on my video, but yeah, I encourage you to go check that out. She was, going for it at the harbor when nobody was. So you can check that out. There's water coming over the far jetty, into the boat channel. It's crazy looking. And then I got the Monday after, or I should say New Year's Day. So the waves got a little smaller, cleaned up. The harbor looked pretty fun. So check out that New Year's Day, Oceanside Harbor. I got all kinds of locals just having a field day. And then just like you're saying, some random people that were having fun. All levels, of course, Mitch. Yep. Whoever was willing to take a beating out there, whoever was ripping. Every kind of board, long board, mid-length, short board. I think I might have got a sponger. I think I even saw a dad pushing his kid into little waves on the inside on that day, which was pretty exciting probably for a kid. Right?
He was out.
Yeah. So everybody check those out. Always comment, like it, share it. Share the video. Help me out. I appreciate that. And I just want to say thanks again, Mitch, and everybody else out there. Thanks again so much for all the support this year and over all the years. And I hope to be here to share more of this surfing kind of news and stories with everybody.
Yeah, Phil, right on.
Right
Really
on,
fun.
everybody. Well, I am going to